Welcome to Agam's lecture series, a series of lectures designed to bring learning to the comfort of your homes. Today, we are going to discuss the course Pathology, STB 212, and we are going to look at the topic Introduction to Animal Pathology. Remember, I've discussed briefly on aspects of pathology that has to do with plants. Today, we are going to look at animal pathology. Patho means disease. Logi means study. Therefore, the definition of pathology is scientific study of diseases. Scientific study of diseases. Now, etiology is simply the cause of disease. Etiology is simply the cause of disease. Pathogenesis is the mechanism by which disease operates to produce signs of the or to produce signs. Pathogenesis mechanism by which disease operates to produce what? Signs, or what people call symptoms. Morphologic change is structural changes in the cells and tissues. Structural changes in the cells and tissues. Remember that morphology simply means what? Structure. Therefore, how does a disease occur? From cause, etiology, to mechanism, to structural changes, then to science. Those things we call science is what the doctors call clinical manifestations. Now, diagnostic techniques used in pathology. Techniques used in determining or examining or finding out the cause of what? Disease. One is histopathologic technique. Histopathologic technique. Examination of tissues under the microscope to find abnormalities. Examination of tissues under the microscope to find abnormalities. Cytopathologic technique. Study of cells to determine cause and nature of disease. Study of cells to determine cause and nature of disease. Hematologic technique. Examination of abnormalities in blood cells. Examination of abnormalities in blood cells. Immunohistochemistry technique. Immunohistochemistry technique. Determination of specific antigen in tissues that cause disease. Determination of specific antigens in tissue that cause disease. Then microbiological technique. Microbiological technique. Microbiological technique. Microbiological and serological examination to find out pathogenic microbes. And these pathogenic microbes can be virus, bacteria, fungi, protozoa, helminths, etc. Once we examine them under the microscope, that is microbiological technique. Then biochemical technique. Biochemical technique. Investigation of the metabolic disturbances that cause disease. Investigation of the metabolic, there's metabolic reactions in the body. Metabolic disturbances that cause what? Disease. Clinical genetics, or what we call cytogenetics technique. Investigation of inherited chromosomal abnormalities in germ and somatic cells. Investigation of the inherited chromosomal abnormalities. I use this abbreviation for chromosomal abnormalities in germs and somatic cells. Molecular technique. Fluorescent in situ hybridization to detect genetic disease. Fluorescent in situ hybridization to determine genetic disease. Autopsy. Examination of a dead body to find the cause of disease. Examination of a dead body to find the cause of what? Disease. Then causes of disease. What are those agents that cause disease? One, environmental factors. Factors found in what? Environment. We take them one by one. Physical agent Like there's an accident and somebody is traumatic. Like radiation from the sun. Like electric shock. These are physical agents. They can cause disease and even lead to death. Then, two, chemicals. And in this is that we call drug, alcohol. All these things are what? Chemicals. Their general name is what? Chemicals. Then, nutritional deficiencies. When you have deficiency in your nutrition, like you have lack of vitamin C, scurvy, lack of vitamin rickets, lack of vitamin beriberi, these are nutritional deficiencies. Your food is not adequate, it's not a balanced diet, and you have what? Deficiencies. It can cause disease. Then infections and infestations, like plasmodium that causes malaria, bacteria that causes cholera, syphilis, bacteria, all those infections. Doesn't make sense. All the pathogens that can cause what? Disease. You call them what? Infections and infestations. Then immunological factors, factors of immunity. Immunological factors like immunodeficiency. You have deficiency in your immune. And remember, AIDS is what? Immunodeficiency syndrome. Fine. Then autoimmunity. When you react to against yourself, a reaction against your inner self, inside self. Autoimmunity, reaction within yourself against self itself. Then you have antigens like type 1 diabetes, antigen like type 1 diabetes. Then psychogenic factors, mental stress, which can lead to manic depression or madness. These are diseases. Then apart, all these one we mentioned are environmental factors. After the environmental factors, the next we look at genetic what? Factors. All inherited factors that can cause disease. Whether it's color blindness, whether it's hemophilia, inability of the blood to clot, whether it's sickle cell, whether it's gut, all these are what? Inherited. So all inherited factors are discussed under what? Genetic factors. There's so many. Then what is the progression of disease? What route, what channel does a disease take before death can result? That's what we mean by cause. The cause here now is COURSE, not CAU. That is the other cause. COURSE, cause of disease. What is the progression? What route does it take? The first is that somebody is exposed to the causative agent. You're exposed to the agent that causes disease. Once the disease enters your body, there will be a period where the disease will not show, which will show the period of latency. It will stay as if you have nothing. Like now we're talking of this coronavirus. 14 days you are given when you have a contact, the period of what? Latency. When it will incubate before it can be able to cause disease. Then from that exposure, you go to biological onset. That is initiation of the disease. Biological onset. Then after the biological, you go to clinical onset, when symptoms and signs begin to appear. Then after that, you now reach to a stage of what's permanent damage, when there's irreversible damage either in your tissues or in your cells or in your organs. Then immediately after that, the next thing was death. What is death? Cessation of life. Life ends. Then that is that. You now come again to look at clinical and biologic death. Death is classified into two: clinical or biologic death. Now, what is clinical death? Reversible transition between life and death. Why we say reversible? That you can revive the person back. Reversible. The person can be what? Revived back. During clinical death, what happens is that respiration will cease, circulation of blood will cease, brain function will do what? Cease. But when that happens, a doctor can resuscitate the person and bring the person back to life and recover. So since it's just this thing that cease, we call it clinical what? Death. But after clinical death, you now have biologic death. Irreversible. You can no longer reverse it. It has happened. It's permanent. That means permanent cessation of life functions. And you pronounce the person what? Dead. Biologically dead. Thank you and God bless you. If you are thrilled by this lecture, click on the red subscribe button so that you can get our other lectures as we give them. Thank you.